What's up YouTube? My name's David. And today we are going to do a voice analysis of a very famous YouTuber who gained a lot more attention this year, and he just so happens to be an incredible bass voice. This is the review of Corpse, also known as Corpse Husband.
Hello?
What up, baby?
In previous years, Corpse has been a true horror narrator on YouTube. Basically, he would tell real-life scary stories on YouTube, emphasizing his super deep, gravelly voice, and people, including myself, loved it. However, as the game Among Us gained an insane amount of popularity over this summer and this fall, many YouTubers and streamers took notice and put together some groups of people, groups of streamers, to reel in some massive videos with some amazing view counts. If you look at Corpse's channel or other channels that he streamed with, like Sykkuno, Pokimane, Jacksepticeye, or PewDiePie, they have been reeling in millions and millions of views on all of their Among Us videos. Not to downgrade any of these other streamers, but honestly, I think a lot of it has to do with Corpse's voice.
Yo, Corpse, what's going on?
Hello, friend.
Wow.
You're accurate. You're completely accurate. Every
He doesn't,
time.
he doesn't look like what he...
Hello.
What up?
Corpse?
Hi, Corpse.
Hello.
Oh, wow.
Oh my
Oh,
Jesus.
wow.
Hello, Corpse.
Hello, cartoons.
Holy.
Nice to meet you all. Hello, Jason. I'm glad you're back.
What's going on, Corpse?
It's lovely to see you again. Thank you.
It's very true.
Whoa!
Corpse, you wanna blow everyone away by just saying hello?
No, don't.
And you guys always do this.
He is the low, grumbly growl in all of the Among Us chats that has people just losing their minds. It's super entertaining to watch, and it's really hilarious when you get a new guest on, especially somebody like AOC, for example.
Where was the body?
AOC.
I didn't... What? I didn't call it.
How's your day?
My day's going great.
The first time I heard Corpse's voice, however, I thought,
That's suspicious.
and painful sounding, actually. After listening to hundreds, probably thousands of bass voices over the years, I've realized that you can tell a lot about a bass voice just by hearing that person speak a little bit. Now, Corpse has a very unique quality to his speaking voice, a very gravelly, pure, bassy tone to it that is not necessarily desirable in choral music where you want more of a resonant, full sound. However, it's very appropriate for some applications. A voice that definitely comes to mind when I'm thinking of Corpse is Peter Cullen. He is the incredible voice of Optimus Prime. I'm going to play some clips for you of different basses speaking, including Corpse, and I want you to notice the different tonal qualities, especially the different textures that some of these bass voices exhibit. You can tell a lot about the anatomy of a bass speaking voice based on just hearing them speak a little bit.
That's about all he liked. That's all he listened to was gospel music. At Graceland now, that's all he has displayed is gospel music.
Actually, I reclaimed my record.
Right.
Somebody broke it back in 2010. As long as I keep my asthma in check, I'm good to go. The older I get, the lower I get.
It's always a pleasure to be back here and to talk to you. And so
Thank
it's a
you.
pleasure to be able to do that again
Thank you
this
so
morning.
much.
Yeah. Prior to joining the Oak Ridge Boys, I sang with J.D. Sumner and the Stamps Quartet. And for about a year and a half of that time, I had the opportunity and the privilege to sing with the king of rock and roll, Elvis. And it was an amazing experience in my life. It really was.
Until the day, till all are one. Freedom is the right of all sentient beings. One shall stand, one shall fall. All we need now is a little energon and a lot of luck. Megatron must be stopped, no matter the cost.
I was 18 or 19 at the time, and doctors weren't believing me with the issues I was having, and they were causing me problems uploading, which is why the upload schedule started getting slower.
Yes, Corpse has a similar vocal quality to all of these speakers. However, the main difference that Corpse has from these other basses is that he is almost half their age in some cases, if not even less than half their age. There are many deep voices in the world, and most of them, especially if they're trained, get deeper and more gravelly as they get older. They can produce more volume and they can introduce more grit into their voice just because their vocal folds get slightly more scarred and swollen over the years from different things. However, according to the internet, which also according to the internet is always true, Corpse is about 23 years old, which is young. I have met and talked to some young basses before that have deep speaking voices, but to have this type of deep speaking voice and be this young is quite remarkable, and honestly isn't something that is natural and completely isolated to just special vocal folds. Let me explain. Digging into Corpse's medical history a little bit, just from what he's posted online and some other things that people have reposted, he has had some issues with fibromyalgia and some other issues, including pain in his joints in his jaw. He's also dealt with another condition called GERD, G-E-R-D, gastroesophageal reflux disease. This is very similar to acid reflux disease. Basically, the stomach is not doing a good enough job of preventing its acids from coming back up into the esophagus and into the back of the throat. If you've ever eaten something bad or had acid reflux, you know that the feeling of acid coming into the back of your throat can burn really bad, even if it's only for a brief moment. The tissue in the back of your mouth and in your throat is very soft and very sensitive tissue. Even a brief exposure to stomach acid can really cause some damage and leave some light scarring. Now, imagine that happening pretty much every day, every time you lay down to go to sleep, every time you eat something, every time you exercise. As you can imagine, acid coursing across your vocal folds, even just the tiniest bit every day, is going to have some long-lasting effects. Your vocal folds will get irritated and over time scarred. This scar tissue will increase the mass of your vocal folds, thus allowing them to vibrate much more slowly. Imagine like a thicker string on a guitar has an easier time producing a louder low note than a higher string. The same goes for a piano or a reed organ. Larger objects have an easier time vibrating more slowly. Corpse probably has some enlarged and scarred up vocal folds that not only allow him to speak lower, but they are also probably much closer together than they should be from being swollen. This explains the textural difference that I noted earlier in this video. Some basses have a more pure, round, and clean, rich tone to their voice, and some have a more gritty, clicky sound to their voice. This is the difference between modal voice and vocal fry. Regular speaking or singing is in modal voice. It's where the vocal folds are vibrating but not hitting each other. They're not colliding or completely closing. Vocal fry is a term used to describe when the vocal folds are closing completely while vibrating, causing that clickier type noise. Vocal fry has been used intentionally and unintentionally in many avenues over the years. However, basses have used it specifically to extend their lower range, especially basses that sing and speak on microphone. The reason I emphasize the on microphone part is because vocal fry generally doesn't have nearly as much volume or resonance or tonal quality as a bass speaking or singing in modal voice. The interesting part about Corpse's voice is that his natural speaking voice in the lower register sounds like vocal fry. However, just by listening to his streams a little bit, you can tell how casually and easily he speaks in this lower register. So I would say this is his natural voice. He's been speaking like this for a long time, and doing so has allowed him to add volume, texture, and depth to his vocal fry that most bass singers using it as an extension don't. All in all, I would definitely call Corpse a bass. His natural speaking voice is obviously very low, and whether it's fry or not really doesn't matter to me much. There is a lot of controversy or conversation about the use of vocal fry in the bass singing and bass vocal community. However, I think the importance should be placed more on perception rather than technique. If it sounds low and it sounds good, then it's good, right? Another question people have posted online that I've seen in comments is, I wonder how low his voice will be when he's older. This is a very interesting question because your voice generally does get lower as you get older, especially if you're a bass and you use that part of your range more often. Will his voice get deeper as he gets older? Maybe. I think a little bit. Although he's not a bass that sings. Most basses that sing kind of keep track of their low notes and see where they're at. He's a bass that speaks. I think it would be really cool to see him do some voice acting in the future, like Peter Cohen and others as well, that use their voices to do the acting parts of animated characters in movies. And when the momentum he's gained this year on his YouTube, maybe that's going to be something we'll see in the future. I think that would be fantastic. But will his voice get deeper as he gets older? Potentially. I think the thing that you'll notice as he gets older is that his voice will get grittier. Acid reflux is something that can be controlled over time, but I think it's going to have permanent effects on his voice that will just keep scarring his vocal folds over the years unless something drastic changes. That being said, his voice I think is going to sound a bit more like JD Sumner's when JD was really old and actually near the end. Here's a clip of that.
Well, glad to be back. One of our favorite places. Rutherfordton.
Rutherfordton, that's
It's hard for me to say.
It's hard for a lot of people to say. They've rolled that R many times.
Right.
Rutherfordton in many ways.
I ain't gonna retire. Till Jesus retired me. No, I don't have anything to do but sing.
Maybe Corpse's voice won't devolve to something that gravelly and almost inaudible in a room setting, but I definitely think it will get some richer qualities over time as he uses it and grows into it and learns about it more. It would be very cool to see Corpse sing sometimes. He definitely has the potential to sing some really awesome bass lines, and I think with just a little bit of professional help, he could really lay down some bass. I hope you enjoyed today's video. A lot of you recommended that I check out Corpse's voice and do a little review on it, so thank you for those suggestions and messages on Instagram and comments and likes on my videos and all that stuff. I really appreciate all of it. It really helps me grow and helps me create more of these videos and put more time into my YouTube for you guys to enjoy. So don't forget to follow me on Instagram, subscribe, all that. Anyways, okay.